Have you ever created something in your life that you felt has never truly come alive? You've done the healing, you've learned the lessons, been taught new skills, applied new knowledge, and yet you've never felt the boom. Still waiting for that boom. Hey everyone, I'm Gerald. I'm a tarot card reader, and today I ask the cards, what is in our lives, what's present for us that's waiting for the quickening? So, what is a quickening? Well, think about it this way. A seed is just a seed until it reaches its potential, until it actually comes alive and grow. That coming alive, the process in which life enters the seed and it begins to activate and sprout, is called quickening. All right, everyone. So yes, well, I spoke to you just then about quickening and what that might mean. So let's get a little bit deeper into it, and I'll explain it a little bit further so that it makes a little bit more sense. So, for example, you might be wanting to open a shop. You might, you might have had a career beforehand, and now you want to have a change in career. You're ready to open a shop, and be a shopkeeper. Let's call that being the role in which you're looking at being. So you finish your job, you find a place that you want to open the shop in, you give it branding, you find the product, you open those doors, and yet, strangely enough, your previous life, you might have been a lawyer, and you still get contacts. You still get these old lawyer type opportunities coming into your lives, and yet the customers for the shops hasn't really taken off. It might have something to do with you're not seeing yourself as a shopkeeper. You're not acting through the identity of being a shopkeeper. Instead, you're someone who's trying to be a shopkeeper, even though you technically are a shopkeeper because you have the shop and you've got the stock and you're open for business, yet all the opportunities from your previous job still come to pass. The quickening is that real spark, that integration where all of a sudden you are transformed by a new identity, and you let go of the past and you embrace the present. And here you now you actively become a shopkeeper, and things are different from that point onwards. So that's one example. Another example might be, hey, you might be like a tarot reader like myself, and you study the cards and you study astrology, and you do this over time. And then one morning you wake up and you have a reading that you do for yourself. And then all of a sudden, everything that you've learned feels alive. It feels like you've integrated, or there's an integration of sorts. And instead of someone that was trying to arrange these facts and perhaps collected them over time, collected all these facts, they're now part of you. Or there's something else that's in the mix that is bringing this knowledge and animating it in a way that you feel changes you profoundly and deeply. And so this is a quickening. In fact, the word the word quickening literally means to come alive. And in pregnancy, they used to say that, they might still do, say that when the baby has its first kick, that is a quickening, because that's when spirit has entered the body. And so today's reading is about what is ready for spirit to enter to make something that you've created come alive. So it's really fascinating. So shuffle the cards, and I think the answer is about to be revealed. In fact, it's sitting here on the desk, so it's sort of revealed already if you've seen. But yeah, I'll reveal the card in a second and I'll give you its interpretation and we'll learn from what has spoken today from the cards. All right, so the cards have spoken and they've come up with the Four of Pentacles as its answer. And it was a real interesting answer to give when I pulled this card. I'm like, okay, I think this card applies to all of us. I think the cards have given us a real collective reading, literal collective reading, because I think this applies to absolutely everyone. So number one, this is a card of earthly power. If you look at the card, we see a man holding a pentacle in front of his heart. He's got 2 feet on top of two pentacles, and he's crowned, or there's a pentacle above his head as well. And this is a card of earthly power. It's a card that says one has built structure in all things earthly. So that means everything that is visible, everything that is measurable, there is structure and there is support and something solid around it. Okay, so that could mean that you might have, for instance, look to make some improvement towards your health. It could be about you making some improvement to your finances. It could be something or your home, your possessions, right? And you've done the work that has created this to create some change. You've seen some results, all right? So you've seen results, and now you're waiting for this to happen. So you're waiting for, no, it's not waiting for this to happen. You've done the work to put the structure in place, and you have seen some results, right? So today's reading is applying to us, or to those who feel like they've created something. Weirdly enough, my shopkeeper example is a really good example of this. You've built the shop, you've done the change, and yet nothing really has taken place. Nothing really it hasn't become alive in you yet. Okay. Let's talk about maybe like a yoga or a meditation practice, perhaps. Let's talk about that, because that could be another example. You've done the hours, you've done the repetition work. There is an aspect of repetition here, something that you've had to build in this material plane, you've had to do through repetitive work. So you've done this over and over and over again, and yet you're not feeling alive by it, or it has not come alive within you. And maybe there is like a sense of, I'm trying this, but it just hasn't landed yet. It hasn't really taken off. It hasn't really boomed. I haven't had that sense of boom. So there is an aspect of letting go, in a sense, of this card, because some interpretations of this card is about having control around the earth, things around you. But that is more about, I think, generally speaking, the interpretation of that card is sort of acknowledging that there is an attainment here. You've done enough work for something to have formed structure. So in answer to today's questions, the card is saying that in response to our questions about what is ready to take quickening, a Four of Pentacles, our Sun in Capricorn, is saying, whatever you've put the work in, whatever you've put the work in, whatever aspect of your life that you've put the work in, that is around your health, which is around your body, which is around your house, which is around your home, which is around your finances, whatever you can see that is visible, whatever you can see that is measurable, it's ready to go. So perhaps the next step for you, in order for it to make alive, is to invite spirit in and accept the transformation. So what do you mean, accept the transformation? Well, it might mean that for whatever reason you are hanging on to or requiring some permission to move forward. You might feel that even though even though you've done the work to build yourself a future, you're not ready to let go of the past because you might feel like it still is, there's still safety in living in the past. It might mean that you need courage. It might mean that you need to trust that I need to let go of whatever it is that I'm clinging on to for safety's sake. I need to let that go. I need to trust that spirit is going to come in, live within the vessel that I've created, and that is going to express itself in a way that I desire. That is the reading today. Okay. I hope that this helps you in some way, shape, or form. And yeah, take care, everyone. I'll see you next time. Please comment and like and subscribe to this video if you want to see more. That way you won't miss a beat when it comes to all of the content that I put up. Okay, take care, everyone. See you next time. All the best. Bye-bye.